Play. All right. This is chapter 7 of A Dark Future Rising. Tonight I have with me as Slip as Dr. Vate, and Wander as Wraith, and Rogue as Vindicator. Last off, we had learned of, the team had went to the lab, and as they were making their escape, they ran into another superhero that seemed confused, Amplify. And Amplify attempted to attack them as Wraith kind of egged him on a bit. And in the ensuing chaos, Madison was hit with a mighty blast of Amplify's uh, powerful, um, powerful energy blast, and was knocked unconscious. And the rest went on to defeat him just barely. And when they did, when Wraith walked away, Vindicator executed Amplify in the street. They fled to their apartment, only to run into the matriarch of the local gang that supplies Dr. Vite with not only her home, but ample business. And she was upset with Wraith for the way he spoke to her grandson, Ricky, a few days prior, and asked Dr. Vite to make it right by doing a favor for her and eliminating a competing gang on their turf called the LAGs. And in the meantime, I guess the first things first is when everybody was getting ready to settle down for the night, Dr. Vite had a visitor. And then we'll just kind of fast forward through the morning and Wraith's recon. Alright. Alright, this is not the screen. It's this screen. Okay. Just do this. Put you guys in the jam mode over there. And change the music. How about that one? Yes, very way too sensitive. All right. Um, Dr. Vite, as you come out of the shower and you're preparing yourself for bed in your room, um, something catches your eye in the corner, and it's a figure standing there. It takes you aback, perhaps, that it appears to be Amplify, who you recognize instantly. He doesn't have his goggles on, but he looks exactly the same. He has the facial piercings. He has the wavy blonde hair, the blue eyes. He looks over at you and crosses his arms over his shoulder, and he says, "Who are you?" It is a voice that doesn't seem to match the vision in front of you.
Madison, still wrapped in a white towel, is extremely startled. She backs herself up subconsciously against the wall, away from the stranger, and after a minute, it probably takes 3 seconds. The gears in her mind whirring, and she thinks at first, Amplify, then no, he's dead, and then it must be this imitator. And she struggles to find some calm and poise, and crosses her arms sort of protectively over herself and says, "Are you that doppelganger?"
That is what they are calling me. I am he. Yes. What
Are
did you...
you...
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
No, you go ahead.
are, Are you indeed, and she sort of half sneers, an alien?
Oh yes, humanity is disgusting.
Well, most of the time I would agree with you. But this is my house, and you have no place here.
I travel where I wish, when I wish. I must ask you questions. Why are you interfering with Dr. Dream? His research is very important to the savior of your species.
And who is the savior of our species? And
There
by
are many.
my species, I assume you mean humanity.
Yes, I do.
The normal kind.
All of your kind. You are not a different species, are you?
Perhaps I am. There are certain distinct differences, certainly.
Perhaps. Regardless, you, the Homo sapiens, and whatever you distinguify yourself as, we are attempting to help your kind. We have been watching.
Well, I have no problem with you helping humanity as long as it does not involve imprisoning people against their will and experimenting on them.
Oh, the experimentation phase is complete. We are now to the implementation phase.
And will this implementation also involve harming people against their will?
Your definition of harming is incorrect in this instance.
Who is the savior of humanity?
Ah, me and my kind, I guess you could say.
So you're not the only one?
Oh no, there are several and more coming every day. Some for their own purposes, some for altruistic purposes like myself.
Why is robbing people of their gifts necessary to save humanity?
Ah, because if we do not, then there will be destruction. Humans, or whatever you're calling yourself, they have no willpower for these things. You should never have been given these powers, or evolved them. We are unable to determine which has become the truth. Regardless, it will lead to a great devastation of your planet, and then everyone will be dead, or most so.
She sort of scooches along the room, away from him, sits down on the bed with it between them. So what do you want from me? Not amplify.
I think that you should bring this vial of liquid that you have taken and administer it to yourself. 5 milliliters. That might be too much. Will do.
He says that might be too much.
that was the GM. I was thinking.
And she just blinks at him. Says, I will take that under consideration.
I doubt it. Regardless, it will happen, and then everyone will be saved.
I see. And this certainly won't make it easier for people like you to come to our planet and subjugate humanity.
If I wish to do that, why would I not just impersonate your president?
I think that that might gain you something, that sort of victory would be temporary. Our president isn't a king. He's not an emperor. There's only so much that he can control.
If you believe so. I have no interest in subjugating anyone.
But what of the others of your kind?
There are some aliens, not my kind, that, yes, they have other motives for sure.
And once you strip us of our protections, do you intend to be our shield?
Yes, we will destroy the others. We will administer this drug to them as well and see if it works. But we must catch them first. If you run into any of them, please let me know.
And how will I do that?
Oh, there are ways to contact me. He smiles and says you could enter this number into your phone, or I could simply watch, but I only have 2 sets of eyes.
I would prefer my privacy, but she says... Is he holding out a phone or something?
No, he's ready to give you the number.
She reaches over to her nightstand and picks her phone up, fumbles with it, in this kind of tense moment, forgetting how to access certain menus, and curses a little under her breath, and finally says, "Oh, here, yes, contacts." And then she presses new and writes, "Not amplify."
Yeah, he gives you the number, and 555-123-54682, and that will ring into a burner phone, and you can leave me a message. There is one particular you should be wary of. His name is Caius.
She just blinks at him. I don't know this name.
Oh, I think you will, from what I've been seeing. I think you will be contacted sooner than later for a meeting with these. Oh, they are very, very upset that you've killed their friend. And he kind of makes a gesture to his face.
Do you intend to still use that face? I would think it would be fairly difficult now that Amplify is dead and his body discovered.
Perhaps not. I can use any face. Whatever suits me. Well, if you have any other questions for me, now is the time.
How did you enter my house?
With my thoughts. He takes his arm and just pushes it through the wall and kind of takes a step forward through the footboard of your bed. I'm not really here.
She kind of tests that by trying to use, mess with him physically, see if she can get a sense
it's
of
like
him
there's
there.
no one there.
Yeah.
They call it astral projection.
She just blinks at him. All right, I have your number. I think you can go now.
Very well. Remember what I said. If you are wise, you will take the antidote to your sickness. And, not believing that you will, he turns and walks through the door and disappears.
And she thinks about going to tell the others, but decides that the information can probably wait until the morning. She's suddenly just really exhausted after everything they've been through today. And so she looks down at the contact in her phone remembers to click save just at the last minute. And she crawls under the covers and turns out the light and tries to find sleep instead.
Everybody sleeps. And a new day comes unless there's something someone's gonna do in the middle of the night. I'm insubstantial. Yeah. So the morning comes, and yeah, you guys let me know what you want to do as you all begin to congregate. Vindicator, I'm assuming you're on the couch, or if there's another spare bedroom. I'm not
There's
sure.
another spare
Yeah.
bedroom, yeah. Is Rogue back?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Are you here, Rogue? We could take a couple minutes for him to come back if you want. Or maybe he just hasn't woken up yet. That's fine
Yeah.
too.
We can do a scene with Ray then
Yeah, let's do that.
Addison. Yeah, she usually gets up pretty early and, makes a traditional breakfast, even though Ray can't eat it.
Yeah, he kind of likes the smell. Yeah. So yeah, he doesn't really need to sleep. He kind of lies down for a bit at night, but he doesn't need to sleep anymore. So he's always up before she is, and he's doing something on his laptop when she comes in. And he looks up and goes, "Morning, Doc."
She nods a little distractedly, pours herself some orange juice, starts putting on the coffee, putters around for a bit. At some point, she turns to him almost suddenly and says, "If you could go back to the way you were before, would you do it?
What, being alive? Yeah. Yeah, I would.
Even if it meant giving up your new abilities, the possibility for fame and fortune that seems so important to you."
Well, nah, I mean, think about, and he kind of pauses a second and almost, you think for a second he sort of suppresses a movement of his head towards his room. He says, think about poor Amplifier, right? I mean, all that fame, all the power, it didn't stop him going crazy, and didn't save him when, Vindicator. Nah. If I could go back, and particularly if I could get my dad back for what he was worth. No, I'd go back. But rewinding the clock and, I don't know, never ends well, right?
I suppose that's because we can't really ever get back what we've lost. Even if we change the present, it becomes something new. It never becomes like it was.
Ray sort of looks at her for a second, then slowly nods and says, "Yeah, I think I know what you mean. It's like I've seen stuff now, and, well, kind of done stuff, and it changes you. Don't really want it to, but it has. And, well, yeah, I mean, even if I was alive again now, I've been declared dead, I've lost all my stuff, I don't know how you go back and rebuild from that."
Yeah, I don't know if you do rebuild. You just build. But still,
Yeah.
I'd like for you to be able to taste some of my chocolate chip cookies someday. And she just kind of smiles and takes a swig of the orange juice.
And he smiles and says, "They do smell bloody good, I've got to say. But yeah, that'll be good. I mean, I can kind of taste them, but not really. It's everything tastes a bit like ash, you know? Don't know how else to describe it. Just tastes grey. Ah, well. And he kind of looks down at his laptop and says, anyway, I've been trying to find out stuff about that gang.
Yes. Have you found anything useful?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, people talk about stuff on. It's amazing, right? If the cops were looking at social media, well, maybe they do. I don't know. But yeah, look, I reckon they and he pulls out Google Street View and he's looking at a house. He goes, looks like this is where they hang out.
Yes.
Shows her the picture of the house and then zooms out to show her which street it's on and everything.
Looks like an apartment of some sort, maybe a few stories tall at least. Today, perhaps you can go look around. See how many of them there are and where they are exactly. The more information we have, the better.
Yeah, no worries. And you're right. These are bad people. Yeah, they're into some nasty shit. And yeah, he kind of pulls up news articles and stuff like that, and says, "Yeah, this shooting was them," and all this kind of stuff, and yeah, talks about kind of what rumours he's kind of put together from things that people have been saying locally. Yeah, he actually seems to be a little bit more animated as he's doing this, and you get the impression that he's really keen to do some good.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know that this is actually a lot more grey than he realizes. So he's seeing this as a real opportunity to kind of do some good. You think the whole thing with Amplify is probably shaken him, and he's seeing this as a real chance that we can clean up the neighborhood.
She listens to him, and her heart kind of hurts a little bit at what she sees as some perhaps naive assumptions or misunderstandings about the makeup of this whole neighborhood or this whole venture. I think her conscience pricks her enough that she says, Wraith, Abuelita Roca, the Sangre Banditos. They're not great. I mean, this whole neighborhood is not the best, but it is where I'm calling my home right now, and I do believe that these LAGs are. Well, they're making things a lot worse and a lot less safe. I guess she struggles with how much she wants to say. Yeah, they're bad people.
Look, I get it. Getting rid of these guys won't clean up the neighborhood, but once this is done, we can maybe sort out Abuelita as well. I mean, maybe not her personally. She seems like a nice old lady, But but you know, her gang, right? We can get them out the area too. You know, we can clean this place up. Don't worry. I know it's complicated, but we can do it.
She shrugs and kind of it just looks like a little helpless. We can discuss power vacuums another time. Sometimes the best crime is organized crime, or the safest kind is. I don't know. But yeah, we can talk about it and what we can actually do. Where we can do the most good.
He frowns at her a second. Goes, "Isn't like a mafia thing, is it?"
Oh, gangs are a bit like a mafia, right? I mean, that's what they are.
As you're talking to this, Vindicator is leaning against the wall
Oh.
in the hallway, just like staring at you guys. He's got bed head, right?
She looks over at him and she hides a smile behind her hand. There's coffee ready. I was gonna make breakfast.
Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually like all he says, I think, and his hair's all messed up, and he like starts to walk over towards the kitchen.
Yeah, you grab a mug that says "World's Best Dad." It's right there.
It's left over from the
Right.
previous recipe.
I've got that mug. I think I bought it for myself.
Right. Oh yeah.
And he takes a sip and he looks at them and did we make a plan?
Well, Raid's gonna scout, and then we'll talk about it when he gets back. There is something I wanted to mention when you both got up. There didn't seem any point in waking you up last night to mention it, but as I was getting out of the shower last night, I had a visitor in my room. It was that creature that Amplify was talking about, Raid. It looked exactly like him, but it didn't speak like him. And he freely admitted to being some sort of alien shapeshifter.
At this moment, when she said there was someone in the room just after she'd showered, Rafe was looking quite appalled. And then she says, "Alien shapeshifter," and he kind of does a double take for a second, and then looks across at Vindicator, and not nearly as subtly as he thinks he's doing it, he kind of rolls his eyes at him extravagantly, and kind of like gently taps his forehead with one finger.
She just says, maybe I should have sent him to your room, but I thought that seeing him would be very disturbing to you, Raid, looking as he currently did. But she pulls out her phone. She says, and then she rolls her eyes at what she's about to say. He gave me his cell phone number.
So, an alien came and watched you shower, and
I
then gave you his number.
hope he didn't watch me shower. I was wearing a towel when I suppose he might have, but I don't think it. She said, that probably doesn't matter. But yes.
Are you sure he was an alien and not just some local perv?
She is about to mention that he was incorporeal, but she just thinks that'll make her sound crazier. So she kind of opens her mouth to say something and shuts it and then opens it. He was... I can't speak as to how depraved this person was, but he was definitely not a local. Here, can you just look at this number, see what kind of... He said it was a burner phone. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but maybe you can get some information from this anyway.
Oh, I've heard of that. It's like spy stuff, right, Vindicator? Burner phones and yeah, nice.
Phone you can throw away.
Yeah. I mean, who calls it that, right? That's just like a spy thing. Nice. And he says, "Yeah, I'll work out, what I can about this phone," and then pulls his screen so they can't see and starts googling how to look up which cell phone company particular numbers on.
You've figured that information out, and it is like one of those like Cricket Mobile. I don't know what the equivalent is over there, but it's very something. That's basically what they do. It's like they sell like time essentially. Like you got 20 minutes or an hour or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And so it would definitely fall in line with somebody who is not using a phone much. Can't be tracked because you can buy it with cash, that sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah, so Ray sort of looks at him and thinks, "Oh yeah, this would kind of fit the description of a burner phone." He sort of then he stops sort of reading the screen and looks up at them and goes, "Yeah, checks out."
It won't help us track him or anything like that.
Well, isn't that like the idea that he can get rid of it? But I guess until he does get rid of it, it's still got a chip in it. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know how to do that though.
Well,
What did the alien want?
he wanted me to take that green vial. When we brought that cooler back, we may have a good deal more than one vial, but he said that to save humanity, we had to get rid of what's making people special now.
Wait, is that what you meant when you said would I go back? Because if you gave me that, I wouldn't be back to me alive. I'd be back to me dead. You know that, right? I'd just be dead.
Well, I wasn't going to pour it into your tea or anything like that, Ray. I was just thinking out loud. More for me than about you, really.
But, I mean, don't want to be rude, but aren't you, like, super old? Wouldn't you be dead too?
Who knows
don't want to be
what
rude.
would happen. I mean, I just haven't aged. I assume I would just start aging.
Yeah, but you might age, like, really fast. Like, super fast, like in front of us kind of thing, and just crumble to bones.
I think that's
It was this movie I saw.
I think that's the sort of thing that happens in movies, but that's not how anyway, I've been this way for a long time, and I don't have any inclination to change now. Still, I don't... Would it kill you? I suppose, because... I don't know.
I don't know, because I don't really... I don't know if I've got... you've got, like, powers. I mean, all I've got is... a little bit self-consciously, he kind of unzips his hoodie a little bit, and he kind of taps the sort of centre of his breastbone, and you can see an outline of something circular under the skin there, and he kind of taps it, and there's a kind of odd noise. It's a slightly muffled kind of chink as he taps it there. He goes, "I think this is all that's keeping me alive. I don't know whether it would even work on me. I don't know how this works, but I don't reckon I've got, like, proper powers like you."
Well, I don't feel inclined to expose you to some mad scientist's experiments. If there's a way to help you, I think a little bit at a time, she kind of reaches out a hand to kind of touch his cheek, understand exactly what's going on with you is the first step.
Yeah, he looks a little bit uncomfortable as she kind of touches his cheek, and he's just like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just feel weird talking about this. It just seems nuts.
Yeah, and
And he's
it's
kind
we've got a lot on our plate. I It would have been weird not to mention it, considering, but we have other things to think about today. Um,
and
so
then, sorry, Karen.
when you feel up to it, why don't you pop out and check out that place and don't take any unnecessary risks?
Yeah, no worries, I can do that. And he shuts down his laptop and kind of picks it up and puts it back in his room. And he checks his phone, sees it's charged, and he puts that in his pocket. Says, "Look, I may as well go out now. I mean, I need her." And he cuts himself off in the middle of a sentence and says, "Wait, if that really was an alien, then that would mean Amplify wasn't nuts after." No, I can't. No, I can't. Oh, it's just doing my head in. And he just turns and he walks out into the hall. He looks like he's about to walk through the wall, but then remembers it's broad daylight and walks round the wall and out into the hall. But he's got his head in his hands. He's not really. He's kind of rubbing his forehead with both hands. Because it suddenly seems to occur to him that if Amplify had actually seen a real alien, then it all could have been for nothing. So he's definitely looking a bit distraught as he leaves the house.
Vindicator is going to be sipping his coffee and watching as Wraith starts to talk about this. It starts to bother him again a bit. And he sighs and he looks over at the doc and says, this alien thing, it wanted you to take it or us to take it somewhere else?
He suggested that I take it, and strongly inferred that I not interfere with him and what did he call him? Someone he's working with. And their plans. They said they're past the experimentation phase now. I don't know exactly what he meant by that.
Was it a warning?
Perhaps. He warned me against someone called Caius. He said that we were certain to run into someone named Caius soon, someone who was upset about what happened to Amplify. So, I don't know what that means. Maybe this Caius is dangerous, or maybe a potential ally.
How did that alien get in? Did you find anywhere he broke in the windows or something?
He said he was astral projecting. He wasn't actually here. Maybe he was just in my head, although I don't think I hallucinated him. I've heard that there are people with those sorts of abilities, that can speak mind to mind. Matter of fact, I might be acquainted with one. But I think it was something like that. I could see him, but he wasn't really there.
Maybe that person could know of a way to protect you from that.
It's been a very long time. Wouldn't know how to get in touch with him. Anyway, about today, we have to be careful. The people, these LAGs, I'm sure well, I don't really care what happens to them, but there's likely to be bystanders. If they're dealing drugs, then there's going to be people buying them, and well, I just prefer that we not hurt anyone that's not directly involved, you know?
He nods at that. And I think he's going to go start getting ready.
Yeah, you can go start getting ready. Let's switch the scene real quick to Wraith. Doo-doo-doo. All right, Wraith. So this is the apartment complex that you come up upon. That one, oh, those are windows. So you can look in the windows. You are pretty sure, based on the number, it is this apartment here. If you go around the other side of the building, you can see that there are stairs to a catwalk, essentially, and for the main entrances of the apartments. This is like a kind of like a small deck, so you're kind of underneath them, and you can do whatever you want. You do. How are you going to approach? We'll start with that.
Yeah, so he'll just walk through the streets until he gets close, and then as soon as he can see the place, he's going to kind of turn a corner away from it, so he never quite walks past it, and he will not pay too much attention, just turn the corner away from it, and then find somewhere to kind of duck into a quiet alley a little distance away. And when he's sure that there's no one watching him, he'll turn invisible and then turn insubstantial, and then he'll come back quietly.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll kind of just read the synopsis that I had, so we don't have to spend you just walking around and getting all the information. I don't think that's really that cool. What we can do though, if there's things you want to do beyond just scouting, then we'll take that from there. But let's just do this. So you scout the apartment. Obviously, they have one apartment. The one next to them is empty. It's currently vacated. You see as you go into the apartment, it's filled with drugs and drug paraphernalia. Untrained eye, you're seeing cocaine and things like that, marijuana, other things that you may not be sure what is. You're definitely not a connoisseur or anyone that that would know. When you look at it, you see that there's a couple people just in the time you're looking around. A couple people come and go. There are children inside. There are women inside. Some of them hang out for a couple hours. You think they might be family members. Who knows, right? A lot of them talk very friendly. They don't seem to be doing anything, particularly of interest right now. Some are counting money. Some are cutting drugs. Some are weighing them, putting them in the baggies. All kind of mundane stuff. Watching TV. Kind of mix of doing drug stuff and just normal life. Obviously, these are all on the second floor, accessed by the stairs, or these actual decks do not have walkway, or does not have any way to get up to them. These decks, as that would be big security issue. So you can walk around the building if you want, pull your token around just to see it. You do notice that there are plenty of guys who you think match the description of these, these gang members. They are definitely, on guard outside, walking around, that sort of thing. You can look at the door. The door is obviously, you can open it. There's nothing. There's like a chain lock and deadbolt. Let's see. And then you did your internet search earlier, and you know that they're quite a nasty group of people. So.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, are we going to have him find the apartment next door empty?
Yeah,
or-
I mentioned that it was empty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if he finds the one next door is empty, he'll go and check that one out as well.
Yeah, that one's just a more, standard apartment. It's kind of dingy. You see that there's a lot of personal effects still here, as if it was abandoned at some point. But it seems fairly common. The walls are paper thin, so you kind of like lean up against towards the wall, right, and you can hear. If you're really, really, careful, you can kind of hear what they're saying on the other side. Maybe a little muffled, but.
And how many of them are then most of the time? I know you said it varies. But...
usually there's about 4 or 5 that look armed at the very least.
Right.
And you do notice there is a girl that seems to kind of be out of place a bit. She's got red hair and glasses. She looks more like kind of a yuppie, not a gangster of any sort. And she's always at this desk, kind of just typing away, doing things. You probably can get a good look at it, and she seems to be doing accounting of some sort. You're not exactly sure because you're not that into that. You don't know accounting, but it looks like something with numbers, Excel spreadsheets, that sort of thing.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, kind of watch all that for a bit, and I'll particularly spend some time out near the door. So whereabouts is the door again?
It's this right there. So.
Oh, I'm not seeing that.
Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna swing everybody over so they can see. Boop boo. Oh, wrong one. There you go. Come over here. I'm gonna pull you over.
Sure.
So you can see. So just right here.
Okay, thanks. So yeah, he's gonna spend a little bit of time hanging out in that hall to see how often people are watching the front door. Because he's one.
Yeah, you see this guy, G Soldier 4. He basically just patrols this whole area. He kind of hangs out by the stairs, that sort of thing. It seems like there's always a person right about there.
Okay. Yeah, he's yeah, he's going to make sure he's got the kind of the lay of the land kind of sorted out, where that guy normally stands, etc.
Yeah, I mean it's variable, but a lot of times by the stairs for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because that one of his ideas was that maybe in the middle of the night he could just very quietly slip the chain, slip the bolt, and just let the others in.
Maybe if they can find a way to get up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it looks like these guys watch things. So, but yeah, maybe if we could create a distraction somewhere, then that could still be viable.
There is a fire escape over here at the end of this, down this way.
Look over there.
Are there cars parked out here?
Yeah, there's cars along the road. hmm Now this part where you're looking at is more like an alley. The bottom side is the road, so there's no cars on this top side, but on the bottom, down on the other side, there are.
Okay. And they're on the ground floor, are they?
The cars, yeah.
Oh no, the people. The
Oh no,
apartment.
no. This is on kind of like the second floor, I guess you would. Well, first floor, one floor above. These are stairs over here to the right.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is a catwalk right here.
Got it. Okay.
So you're talking about 8 feet up, maybe,
Right.
This first
Right.
maybe 10. One story.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So he's going to scope all that out. When the I think, yeah, actually, yeah, he's gonna do one thing before he goes. He's gonna go back in, head back over to here. Oh, I guess there's the others that hang out in this room.
Yeah, they come and go,
And
but
he-
this room is always packed with people.
Yeah, okay. So he can't really do much with the computer then. Yeah, he has a quick look, but he can't even take a photo without becoming visible and substantial. So he's just going to have a look, and he'll try and memorize some stuff. If there's anything obvious, like mentioning any local businesses, he'll try and remember that. And then...
No, there's nothing like that you see that she is working on. It's usually that she does write emails to people. They seem kind of not clearly gang related, or they're talking code. You're not 100% sure, or just she's randomly doing things like she's playing World of Warcraft and other things that aren't germane to this.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, he'll leave it at that, and then he'll slip out. I guess not that way because he's going to come out the front and come down the stairs, etc., and then out. And he'll make his way back to the others. He'll walk a couple of streets, look for an alley to duck into, and then make himself visible and substantial and come back.
Yeah, they've eaten breakfast. Getting ready, that sort of thing. Madison, I'm going to whisper you something. Your phone beeps at some point during all this before Wraith has gotten back, and you look at it and you see there's an icon at the top, and it's like a letter. Looks like envelope, and so if it was AOL, it's not. But you got mail, right? So yeah, you have an email in there.
She thinks about that for a second and fumbles around trying to open it. Who would be sending me email? And she finally manages to open it.
Yeah, it's from the from line just says Dustin.
Dustin. Do I know a Dustin? Do I even have an email? I must. Does it have anything in the body of the email?
Oh yeah. It says something to the effect is, Madison, is this your email? It's Dustin. And there's like and he's like, I found some cool stuff. Give me a call. And there's a number there. I really want to get back in touch.
Does the name ring any bells for her?
Yeah, potentially Dustin Westover, maybe. If you remember giving me that NPC.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I had forgotten what I named that guy. She tried really hard to forget.
Right.
She curses. How did he find me.
Give me
Gee.
give me a sysops roll, would you?
Oh, sure.
Is she talking out loud? Like,
Yeah,
can
she's,
anybody hear
yeah,
her?
you would have heard that.
It might not be in the menu.
Yeah, I'll probably
it
have to
would
do
be a
off the
non.
sheet.
Oh, sysops. There it is. It's under knowledge.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. She's smart, but I have to do it again. Hold on.
That's not too bad. What is the? Hold on. What is the? I think it's just under challenging. Let me see. I can never remember the.
AOL.
Yeah, 29. It needs to be so. You are kind of clicking through it, and it says Dustin would like a red receipt sent to him, and you accidentally hit just yes, and so you know now for somehow through the email he knows that you've read
Yeah.
it. You
She
assume.
says, shit. Does a red receipt tell someone that you've read an email?
And he's like chewing on some eggs, and he's like, "I think so. What are you doing?"
I got
Trying to
him.
figure.
I think someone found me. Not someone particularly dangerous, but well, I've worked very hard not to be found.
I mean, like an old boyfriend.
No, hardly. It's a child. Well, barely more than a child. Someone I helped once.
Do you need help figuring out how to use your email?
I don't know if I even want to say anything. Here, she hands it to him. You're probably better at it than I am.
There's another
Just-
beep, and you see another envelope pop up.
Oh, good grief.
It's been about a minute.
She says, open that. But don't
Yeah.
click the red receipt thing.
Yeah, he'll open it.
You open it and it says, "Oh, I saw you read my email. It's really important. Please get back to me ASAP. ASAP. I've got some interesting news about an old friend of yours. I think he Warhawk or something like that. Please give me a call."
Sounds like it's important, and he hands it back to her.
Now she's really baffled. Warhawk. That's only one person I've ever known that went by that, and that was a long time ago.
Wraith, you walk back into the house about this time. You see that the doc is looking at her phone, perplexed, which isn't that shocking to you, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sort of walks over to Vindicator. He's looking a bit happier now, and he sort of says, "All right," and then winks to Vindicator and says, "Always swipe right, Doc. Always swipe right." And then chuckles to himself and heads to the kitchen to see if there's any coffee on, because he likes the smell.
I don't think Vindicator would get the swipe right thing, but
Probably not.
he's like he's just looking at Wraith inquisitively, and so he's like, "Is everything okay, Jaden?"
Yeah. He goes and if there's coffee on, he'll have poured himself just a little bit in the bottom of a cup, and he sits just kind of inhaling the coffee, and he says, yeah, and he kind of takes them through the kind of the layout of the apartment and where people tend to be, and that there's this other person there, and there's another apartment abandoned next door which could be useful, but even getting to that, they might get spotted by the guy who tends to stand on the stairs, etc. So he kind of gives them the full full lowdown. And he looks quite pleased with himself that he's actually kind of worked all this stuff out.
Well, that's a stroke of luck. If we can get into that second apartment. I'm sure the walls aren't very thick. Oh,
They seem pretty thin, actually. I could hear them through the walls.
Anything interesting?
I don't know. A lot of it was in code, and a lot of what the guys were doing was just bragging. It wasn't really that useful.
Well, did they have vehicles outside?
Was I sure those cars were theirs? I think they were.
I
right?
think you would see some of them coming and going through those cars that you were pretty sure were part of the gang.
Yeah. So I'll tell her that. Yeah, where they were parked and etc.
Well, boys do love their cars. Possible they would be distracted if someone smashed the windshield with a crowbar. Alarms went off.
Yeah. They'd get there pretty fast with a lot of guns if someone did that, I reckon.
That person would have to be able to disappear fairly quickly.
And Wraith grins and says, yeah. He says, I reckon a baseball would do a pretty good job as well. Get me a bit further away.
Well, feel free to search around the house. She points to like this shelf. She says, "There's some of those knickknacks are mine, but some of them I think could stand to be smashed against a car windshield." There's just like all sorts of weird stuff on the shelf. It looks like from a bunch of different people that might have lived here. It just got left.
Yeah, Wraith goes over and he looks, and as he's looking, he says, "Really, I reckon a rock would do it." And he starts criticizing all the stuff on the shelf. Like, who has stuff like this?
Not the angels. Those are mine.
He just turns and gives her this look of like, you.
They're like the little kids with the wings and the...
Yeah. Yeah, he gives you the kind of look that my teenage daughter gives me from time to time. It's like, where are you from? And he just looks at her like that for a minute and then just shrugs and says, "Oh, yeah, I guess maybe things were different in your day." And then he just carries on looking through all the stuff and just kind of shaking his head and muttering to himself a little bit.
I suppose you're right. There's probably rocks and concrete that'll do the job just as well. And then you said that there's a side entrance or a fire escape that we could go up, Vindicator.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the best way in, I think.
There's another beep on the phone, and you see an envelope.
She pushes on it now, a little more confident, especially since it's still on that screen.
Yeah. Doc, are you going to get back to me? It's Dustin. Remember we had some fun times a few years ago. I just thought that you might want to hear about this. I know you're always into the old stuff. Just please give me a call as soon as possible.
She thinks about it for a second and then
As
goes down into the message window. Go ahead.
I was going to say, as she does, she becomes aware that Ray's looking over her shoulder and says, "If you want to reply, you just hit that button there." That little icon.
Or the one that looks like a curvy arrow?
Yeah, that's right. I know it looks a bit like undo, but it's not.
Undo didn't even occur to me. But she pushes on it and then just types later. And how do I make it go? Oh, the This one. I remember.
Yeah,
She pushes
he's
on it.
pointing. Yeah, he's pointing at it. He almost presses it himself, but
There's like a
um,
response within like 30 seconds, it seems like. What time? So I can be around. You know, I'm a busy guy.
She just
oh, he's really into you.
she looks disgusted. He's younger than you are.
And Ray sort of looks at her and says, "But he says you like had some fun times. I mean, what?"
Ugh. She just shakes her head. I don't even know what he's talking about.
And Ray is once again making faces over to Vindicator behind Madison, but not quite. And this time it's kind of like more like, what?
He actually smiles, I think. Well, I better get the guns ready.
Do you have a duffel bag? In case we're caught before we get to the apartment, if we can get away with just acting like we belong there, that might be best.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, Madison's gonna look for something to wear. She's tries to think about what someone in that apartment would wear, and she puts on like her tackiest clothes and some slippers that have feathers on them. So not wearing a costume, although she'll pack her mask.
All right. Okay, I'll switch you back over there. We'll see dynamic lighting. There's definitely issues with it since they did their update.
Mm,
Me and
Yeah.
Rogue have both seen it. It was crashing my computer really bad the last time. So if it gets bad, just let me know. And if it gets bad for me, I'll just turn it off. I don't think that it matters too much. I can use the
No,
GM. I can use the GM layer instead of whatever I need to do. So if it gets bad, just let me know for anybody.
are you in Google Chrome?
I
I
am, yeah.
I don't
Oh,
think
sorry.
Firefox works any better, honestly.
For,
I mean,
yeah, for some reason, I don't know why, but if you go into the settings of the Chrome, like it's working now for me. I just went into the settings of the Chrome, went down to advanced settings, and for some reason my use hardware acceleration when available was turned off, and I clicked that on, and it seems to be working better for me.
Yeah, I had that clicked on, unfortunately. Yeah, Sim mentioned it as well. But yeah, it didn't like, it wasn't that my computer was like unusable or anything, but it was obviously slow doing
yeah,
stuff.
mine was literally unusable. It was crashing every application I had up, not even just
Oof.
browsers, but like all my recording stuff. I had Word up. It was just crashing everything. It was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a real pain in my butt. But so if you're having this map isn't that big, I mean, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's not nearly as big as what Rogue was doing. So it seems okay for me. But if you're having issues, just tell me. I'll turn it off. It's not that big a deal.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
So cars are on this side of the street, like
Yeah,
over
they
here or
are in
something?
that. Let me throw something out there. There are, we'll say, 2 cars. No, I don't want to do that. Car, dude. Cars. Not my library.
I remember back in the day we used to use packs of cigarettes as cars.
So that one. That's a Rolls Royce. We're not going to use that. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, there's 2. Let's say there's another one too. There you go. There's 3 cars there. All right, tell me what you'd like to do.
Okay. I'll so yeah, I'll let the guys go first.
Is it over here? That's where the
Yeah, so he'll
fire
point,
escape.
Yeah, he'll point it out to them around the corner.
Okay.
What does Mama-san want us to do here? Just kill some of the big bads?
Take their money if we can, get rid of their weapons, and if we have to, kill or injure, make sure that they know that they can't be around here, that they're not welcome, and it's too dangerous and unprofitable.
Does she want us to mention the name of her gang at all?
They know whose turf they're on.
He's probably walking with a duffel bag, and his gun's probably in there. His knife's underneath his jacket, kind of a inside sheath.
And you're going at night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are some lights that, all this is pretty well lit. Some of the lights are out, but, it's lit like anybody would light these areas so they can, not get mugged.
Yeah, Vitae's got a large handbag, a satchel, and she's got a few things in it, including the night vision goggles, but she's not just wearing them around.
And you drove, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think the night vision goggles would help in this situation, at least outside.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you drove here a couple blocks, parked, and then walked the rest of the way, correct? Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
So Wraith he's visible, but he's got his hood up of his hoodie, and he's got his mask across his face. And he's got his head kind of down. And he's just going to keep walking. If he sees this guy here,
Yep.
he's going to just watch what he does, maybe stop and do his shoelace up or something, and
he looks at his phone, just kind of idly.
Okay, so you just seem to be standing there?
Yeah, he's just kind of lingering.
Okay. Is this one of their cars here?
You're not sure whose car it is. I mean...
Okay. This one presumably is one of theirs, though, this yellow.
I don't know
Looks
how you
funny.
would know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going by it. Seemed a bit fancier.
Yeah.
This is a great neighbourhood. So what Wraith's going to do is he's going to go up against this wall while the guy's looking, get to about here. And then he'll have picked up, because he was already thinking about like a piece of stone or rubble or something. He'll have that in his hand. He'll give it another sort of like count of 30 or so, slowly, to let the others get... they've already had a bit of time to get up on the fire escape, but he'll give them another slow count of 30. And then he will throw this... it's probably a bit of like brick or rubble, something with some chunky edges, so even if he doesn't get the window of the car, he'll scratch the paintwork. And he throws it at the side of the car, yells at the top of his voice, trying his best to put on an American accent, like and saying something like "Cheese of pussies," and then he just starts legging it off in in this direction.
Okay, I was gonna make you roll a throw roll, but that's too fun. Okay, so yeah, you smash out the window, and the guy just like, what the fuck? And he runs kind of over to the car and like stares in for a moment.
While he's looking that direction, I become invisible.
Yeah.
And
then he quickly spins around, and he's got his hand on a gun that's sticking in his belt. And he's like, what the hell? Fuck. Damn kids. And he just starts cussing. And I would say he goes kind of like off this way, looking for them, looking for whoever, because he has a very clear sight towards you, right? And there's nobody there, so
right.
He's definitely more interested in going this way.
Okay, so I'm going to make my way over to here, and can I see anyone up on the stairs here?
There's no one at the stairs there, no. So swinging over to Vindicator and Vitae, are you going to go up the fire escape? You notice the ladder's kind of rickety, and it's pretty loud.
Yeah, she was taking it as slow and quiet as she could.
Yeah, you can make a stealth roll if you want.
Okay.
I think Vindicator might put his mask on.
Sure.
And guard her for a minute. Make sure nobody's coming. Maybe hold the ladder for her. See if I can stop it from making too much noise.
All right. I'll just do a -3 on the stealth instead of a hardship since you're holding it.
Okay.
Okay. I'll make a perception roll with him.
He hears it.
Yeah, as you get to your head pops over the pops up over the lip of the catwalk, and you see a guy walking towards you. Hey, who are you? What are you coming up that way for?
She gives him a wide, sort of seductive smile and says, I lost my key to the front door.
Kid, what front door?
Look. And she just kind of gestures for him to come over.
Give me a deception roll.
Oops, social.
All right, what? I ain't seen you around here anymore. I ain't seen you around here before. He comes over. Are you staying on the ladder? Are you getting
She starts to climb in like she's not really, she's just kind of casual, and she's got like this ridiculous outfit
Yeah,
on.
he steps back and like watches you climb. At first
it's kind of like ho.
Yeah, he seems like more interested in it, and he's like, "Who? You don't live in any of these apartments. I know everybody lives here. What you doing here, girl?"
Okay, she says, you know that apartment? And she says it's down the hall, and she kind of describes where the empty one is.
Yeah?
You remember the people that used to live there? The fella?
Kinda.
Yeah, well, he had something of mine. And I recently tracked him down, and he said he left it. I really need to get in there. Look, I'll split it with you. It's
What is it?
She says it's about 1 kilo.
Okay, all right. I don't think it's 1 kilo, but I don't think that's what you mean. Yeah, he's like
She just like she says it's like she makes like a gallon-sized Ziploc bag size thing, and she says, "That much, and it's probably still good."
This is perfect. He's looks very, very confused. He says, I and he turns around and starts walking back this way.
She actually kind of tries to be noisy to clack 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 clack.
He's like, girl, what you got, high heels on?
I guess he said, "Oh shit, these," and she takes them off and just kind of stuffs them in her bag, and then she'll just start chattering. "What's your name?"
My name's Leon. Here, and he just pushes the door open. It's unlocked.
She looks over her shoulder to see if Vindicator's coming and cracking up on the fire escape.
He's too busy laughing. Oh shit! Yeah, he's gonna come up there. He's trying to be quiet.
Yeah, she walks in.
Yeah,
Start-
I think he probably does too. So you can come in. There's no Wraith. You can head up the stairs too if you want. Inside, he's like, "Okay, where is this stuff?"
I don't know. I haven't been in here. She just starts rummaging around. I actually can't really see anything besides.
Because that door is shut. Hold on. Yeah.
Actually, about this time, because it might be relevant.
Yep.
Wraith is out in the street, and he's a bit worried because he hasn't caused as much distraction as he wanted to, and he's really worried that he hasn't done enough to protect the other two. So he strides about for a while, trying to work out what to do, and eventually he picks up another large rock, and this time he throws it through the window of the apartment, and then he immediately becomes invisible just as soon as he's thrown it.
Right.
And starts heading over in this direction.
When that
hopes
happens,
he's made a bigger distraction this time.
Yeah. So let me see. Immediately, like you hear a bunch of yelling, very angry, and two guys rush out. Vindicator, they're coming out right about the same time as you are doing what?
I think he's trying to go in and sneak up on this guy if she's got him distracted.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Madison's bending over a lot.
Yeah, he is like literally he's looking at you, but he's so confused that he's not even kind of that interested in it because he just doesn't know what the hell's going on. Okay, let me roll perception for him. I'll give him a -3 from complete and utter
Bafflement.
yeah.
Damn, there's a kilo in here somewhere.
I had it as a ton.
It's spilling out the door. All right, -3.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he heard you. He turns around. He's like, "What the hell, man? What the hell you got that weird mask on?" And he's like, kind of thinks to himself, like, I've got the weird mask on too. And then he goes for his gun. And I guess we'll do combat. Let me throw a grid on. Let me do some things real quick. Give me 5 minutes. You gotta take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, I'll take a quick break.
What am I doing? Okay.
Madison doesn't understand drugs. She heard Kilo in a
In a movie.
a
somewhere.
movie. Yeah.
Scarface. Grid on. That's too big. Let's do 50. Better. just gonna sit you guys in hexes. And I'm gonna make them a little bigger. Perfect. So right there. Did you roll your initiative? Was that you? Is it?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna roll these guys just to get ahead of it. Sure. These guys got abilities. Ah, they have keen too. Glad I looked. Oof. This guy's got keen too as well. Just waiting for Juan. Make this grid line a different color, I think. Let's make it that color. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna roll another guy's initiative. Let's see. Actually, Who's this crazy guy with a mask on? Okay, just roll an ish.
Okay.
Do combat menu.
Yeah.
Or...
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, let me sort it. So right now, this guy steps out here looking for Wraith, but sees nothing. Just like, where you at, you punk? And went inside. He looks out the window. He's gonna do this. He comes out here looking for you. Both have weapons drawn. Oops, that was 5. Yeah, he walked out there. Yeah, the guy facing Vindicator, he's gonna do draw and attack. So there is a draw and attack option now. Had been for a while, so that's 5 AP. He draws his pistol and shoots at the same time, and that is with 1 hardship. So you are at point blank range. So you. Okay, let's make sure you guys have no hardships or anything like that. So go and make sure you have no injuries or wound hardships. I know, Madison, you actually have a wound. I'm going to look at that and make sure it's okay. So -1 dex. Okay, that's all factored in for you.
Where is wound level 24 but current 30?
Yeah, that's because of grit. That's all good. 30's
Oh, okay.
correct. Yeah. Alright, so he's going to shoot at you. Pistol. Benefit none. Additional mods, no. Hardships 1. Point blank or adjacent. So it's a hit to the leg. I don't think that's going to do anything. So it's 21 minus 3, and your what is your? So it's 15. He's got to be 21 minus 3. That's 18. What armor do you have on your leg? Your right leg.
I have right leg is for piercing.
Yeah.
It's 8.
Okay, so that's 10. So that's not enough to get you injury. Go ahead. Do you have, is it a cheap one?
I believe so. I think.
Go ahead and
I
roll
think
D10.
so. Ooh.
Nope.
Close.
So it kind of somehow hits your flak pants and doesn't get through, and you are up.
I think I'm going to stab him.
Okay, you can do a move. You can do a lunge attack.
Alright.
So you just take a -3, and it costs 4 AP.
Would that put me right here or something?
Yeah,
or?
whichever one you want to move to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because he was going to come in and like sneak up on him with his knife,
Right, yep.
you know.
Makes sense.
And all right, here we go. No benefit, no hardship.
No hardship. When it does additional bonds, put a -3 in there
Okay.
for lunge. All right, he's gonna try to dodge. So that's gonna pop him up 1. He'll try to dodge here. Physical dodge. 28. So that's 9 plus 2. 11 minus 3. So that's 8. Let me see what his armor is. For slashing, I doubt it's anything. He doesn't have armor. So 8. That is enough to give him an injury, I believe. Oh, he's a minion. So how does it kill him?
Yeah, so I think Vindicator, like right as he starts to move towards the guy, and the guy, hears him, or the creak of the wood or something, the guy spins around and goes to shoot him in the face, probably. Vindicator slaps the gun down and ends up shooting him in the leg, and then he brings this combat knife up into right under the guy's chin and up into his head, and just kills him really quickly.
He dies. So where's this one? Where's this guy? Oh, that's the guy. So he's not in yet. Soldier 3 is this guy. He hears the gunshot behind him, turns around. He's just going to draw his gun as he kind of sees the back of Vindicator a bit. It's kind of a tough shot for him, but he just pulls his gun out for now. And Doc, you're up. I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Sorry, yeah, I was. So where's the other apartment? Is it over here? Or over
Yeah,
here?
it's over here.
Okay.
Yeah, each apartment is vertical.
And this is just like a countertop.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're in the kitchenette.
I think she's just gonna,
We got 2 coming out here, Doc.
yeah, she's gonna, let's see, 1, 2.
One thing you did notice is that each of the porches, or not porches, each of the decks, you could just step over a little small railing and go from one to the other if you wanted.
So from here, she could go over to here, maybe.
Well, that's not. It's all the way out here, but
Oh, all the way out there.
Yeah.
Okay. I think she's gonna head this way. 4, 5.
and you can run and go up to 10 if you want.
Okay, yeah. Well, if she has to interact with the door right there, probably.
We'll say it's open.
Okay. Wraith left it open, maybe. So she'll go over there and look for a way over.
All right, let me. This might delete. That. So it'll be an interact. Go over it. How many
Okay.
hexes did you move? Do you know?
8.
8. So that's 4.
So she needs to interact next time.
Yep. Wraith, you're up.
Okay. So this guy up here is coming down, isn't he?
He's looking down. He hasn't started to come down yet, but he's just looking down there. He's got a
Okay.
shotgun in his hands.
Okay, so I'm invisible and insubstantial.
Yeah,
so
he
I'm
can't
just
see
gonna
you.
start-
Mhm.
I'm just going to start making my way up the stairs, basically.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know how far I can get. I guess I need to measure it, don't I? That's 15. So let's
Just
say at the-
by hex. Yeah, just go by hex.
Yeah, so that's about 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hexes to there, first of all.
Is that where you want to
And
go?
then,
You want to go inside?
So I guess that'll get me to the ground floor, so I've got to go round. So should we call it about 10?
Yeah, that's fine.
I want to go up to about here, basically.
That's 10. We can say that's 10.
Cool, thank you.
Yep. So that'd be 5 for you. They hear a do 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 do, but they don't see you, so they're confused. Inside, you're not sure what's happening. Do that. The guy in the bottom is still not able to respond. He's coming back. So that's why you see the 0. It's really not 0. Okay, it is this guy's turn. He does not... what does invisibility say? Can he make a perception check against you, or...
Maybe. But I'm not making any sound either, so there's nothing
Well,
really
you
to do.
just ran straight up to him.
But I'm insubstantial, so I'm not...
Oh, that's
I'm not
true.
making any
Oh,
noise.
yeah, you wouldn't be breathing. Yeah, so I guess not.
Yeah, no breath, no footsteps, no... Yeah.
Will he walk into you? I actually I don't think so. I think he just doesn't see anything there, and he hears the gunshot behind him, and turns and starts to run this way. So you get about there. Probably gets right about there. So that's 5. So that'd be 3 for him. You could have punched him, by the way, if you wanted to do an opportunity attack, but I figured you don't want to.
Yeah.
And then it would be this guy's turn. He does the same thing, only he just follows this guy. They're kind of caught where they're in a single file. They can't really advance on Vindicator very easily. And then it is, let's see, descending again. Well, it's whatever she's doing in there. I'm just gonna do that again. Oh shit, that's a 410. Delete 4. Okay. Alright, so now it's this guy. He's going to take a shot with some cover. Let's see what the cover impediments are. I want to do it exactly correct, so... Cover impediment. Yep, -3. That's what I would say we get. He levels a shotgun at your back, Vindicator, as he rushes towards you. And he's going to shoot. Shotgun. What? That's weird. Oh, there was something wrong with this macro. Give me a second. Okay, cursor. Weapon 3. Now let's try. Oh, I meant the wrong one. Sorry. Oh, crap. He doesn't have a macro for it. Okay, he's got a pistol. Whatever. Benefit, none. Additional mods, -3. This is point blank range. Chips, no. Point blank. Ooh, 24. 34 to the torso. What's your armor on your torso? For piercing. Rogue.
Vindicators.
Oh, that's 8.
8, so 34. Okay, so that's 26. That's going to give you an injury. It is mortal, but that doesn't matter because... yeah.
Can I try dodging at point blank?
No. You have to be adjacent. Yep. It already subtracted the 24 if you look at the roll, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he shoots you in the back. Is your Kevlar or whatever you're on your torso, is it cheap?
I think that was the only one that was good, but
That's what I thought too.
I can't remember.
Well, if you swing open the... Oh, no, it says it's a cheap flak jacket. It's what it says if you open it.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll D10.
Yeah, I thought I bought some, but maybe I was wrong.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, so he shoots you in the back. So that puts him at 7.
Blam.
Okay. Vindicator, is your turn.
All right. I would like to whip out my my rifle.
That's a 2 AP. You can do it quickly if your acrobatics is decent. You need to make a 29.
29, and if I fail,
You do. I think it costs you 3, but you still get it out. I think that's how it works.
ooh, acrobatics is not decent. All right,
Just 2.
2 AP, I think.
All right. So there you go. 2 AP. You swing out your rifle, and it is the G Soldier 3's turn behind the guy. He'll shoot. He's going to take a -3 for shooting through his buddy, and a -3 for cover. So he'll take a total of -6. Alright. Pistol. At you. No benefit. -6. He is actually close. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it's medium. Barely a hit. 12. That's not going to do any damage to you. Yep. No bother in soaking even.
Vindicator's getting shot up. He gets hit in the back and pushed to the wall, and then he's turning, and another round like sprays his shoulder, I guess, or leg.
Madison, you're up, and you see one of the guys. He's kind of looking away from you currently, but he's out on the balcony as well.
And what exactly do I have to do to get over?
You just do an interact action, so it just costs 2.
Is he looking out on the street, or
Yeah,
is he
he's looking out
this
on
way?
the street. He's looking for whoever threw the brick. He hasn't been able to turn around yet for all the gunfire, so.
She's assuming that he's gonna see her, so
Yeah.
she'll start climbing over and she'll start screaming, "Help! Help! My boyfriend! He's coming! He's gone crazy! He's got a gun!" So she's gonna
Give me
try
a
to.
deception roll. He's not. He just looks confused.
She doesn't have anything in her hand.
Right.
So.
Yeah. He's seems to be convinced right now. And it is his turn. He's like, "You should get the hell out of here. What are you doing in here?" And he walks this way, and he goes inside for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's running to get somewhere. He's at 10. At this point, I'm going to pop this guy at 11. The guy that's coming back. So he'll start on 11 AP. And Wraith, it's Tanya's turn again. She does one more interact action. Now it's Wraith's turn.
Okay. Wraith is going to move over to here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Do you want to run that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
This will be a 7. So you're still running. They hear nothing because you are insubstantial. And it is Vindicator.
All right. He is going to blast at this fool right here.
There is one thing you can try that I don't think anybody has. It's called spray.
Okay.
And it might be a decent move here. Basically, it's using a semi-automatic or automatic weapon to hit multiple targets using a ranged weapon with rate of fire greater than 1. A character may attempt to hit multiple targets that are adjacent to each other. Make one attack, but split the BAV in half for each target. If there is a remainder, use the higher half against the first defender. So you can do that. And then, if successful, add post-roll modifier to each half of the skill check. So basically, you would just roll guns, and then we'll figure it out. If you want to do that, you don't have to.
Are we doing ×2?
Yeah, it'll be times 2 after. The damage will be. So the damage is actually added to each. So what you do is you shoot, and then say you roll a 50, and then I'm going to take 25 for each, and then minus the base defense on each of them, and then if you hit, then we'll add your weapon damage ×2 to each person. So that's how that works. So it's easier to miss, but if you hit them, you do a lot of damage still.
All right. Well, let's try it out. Yeah.
Okay. So that's 5 AP. So let me add that. And so just roll guns because it's easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go into the sheet and
your injury's already applied. So.
Should I? Which target should I click? Just either one of them?
Yeah, I guess go do G Captain. We'll figure it out, I guess. It doesn't matter. We'll just add it back on.
Any additional mods from the laser side, or?
You have a benefit for the laser side.
Oh,
right?
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I have Weapon Master as
another benefit. So that's 2 benefits.
Any additional mods?
No. Mm-mm. And then you are close range. Or no, you're 1, 2. Yeah, you're close. Okay, so add 22 back on. That's 33. So we're going to split that in half. So 33, that's 17 and 16. So 17 on the first guy. I think it's going to be a miss. Miss on the first guy. Second guy. Yeah, miss on the second guy too. So you like try to spray these guys, and yeah, that's a bad roll.
It is a terrible roll.
Yeah, and you just shoot high, and just because you're trying to hit them both at the same time. And Mrs. Sorry, I convinced you to do that.
That's all right. It's a bad roll.
And it is the G's turn again. He has no idea there's anybody behind him, and he's going to aim. What?
Don't
oh yeah. Sorry, you're up. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going over there for recording.
You're cool. Yep.
So what does she see of this person through the doors?
She is packing up a briefcase right now.
Okay. She's gonna walk in.
She looks up. Who are you? That was 2 for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she'll just say, "You need to get out of here." She'll but not that way. They're all shooting.
She nods, and she will step past you, and she goes right to the edge of this, and looks like she's gonna climb over.
Okay.
It is the 7's turn. It's the captain. He is going to aim 3 times at Vindicator. So he aims 3. And then the soldier next to him also aims 3 times at Vindicator. Yeah.
I wasn't actually gonna let her by.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't that be an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, you could attack of opportunity or her. Mm-hmm.
I figure she's in on this and that she's got something in that briefcase.
Yeah. You could do some physical attack to her.
So attacks of opportunity have to be physical attacks.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
So she would be technically, I think she was right here, so when she moves here, you can do something.
Well, how do you do grapple attacks?
You just do a grapple. It's
Can she? How about just trying to grab? Can she try to? I guess she'd grab for the arm that has the briefcase.
That's fine. Yeah, you can do a grapple. That's 3 AP.
Okay. And that's just hand to hand.
Yeah.
She has like no skill with that. Okay, this is probably a bad idea. But I think it's what someone would do.
She does hand to hand. She does dodge to try to defend it. Let's see, dodge. You grab her, so she is grabbed. Let me add 1 to her. So she actually would be at 8 because she can't go anymore. Okay, so she's at 8. What the hell? 1 sec. Okay, whatever. So she is grabbed. Yeah, she's like, let go of me, bitch. And Wraith.
Okay. He is going to, still invisible and insubstantial, pull out his gun and aim at this guy's head.
I would assume you already had the gun out, to be honest.
Okay. So I'll do that, and I'm just going to become visible, and he'll see me become visible with the gun like leveled at his temple from the side or the back of his head. He'll feel the gun pushed into it, and then I'll just sort of yell really aggressively, drop it, drop the fucking gun.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion roll. Would you blow his head off if he didn't? Would you shoot him?
He really doesn't know right now.
I would say
maybe
you can pick deception or persuasion or intimidation, whatever you want.
Intimidation, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
With I would say with at least 2 benefits in this situation, and this is almost a free action, so I'm not gonna make you spend AP for it.
Cool, thank you. So let's do intimidation. Where's it gone?
Use the tough voice, Wraith.
Benefits.
The tough voice.
Yeah. He's forgotten that in his kind of panic.
Voice cracks.
Okay.
No, that's a good one.
38, so he's going to do
Nice.
fortitude. Let's see how tough this guy actually is. He turns and he does drop his weapon and puts up his hands. So he is...
Yeah.
Don't shoot me, man! Oh, where the hell did you come from, man? Don't shoot me!
And Ray's going to try and just grab him and use him as a shield until the other guy
I'll
do
let
the same.
you do that
In a minute.
with a 9.
Cool.
Yeah, from that distance, I don't know that he's going to care. So it is the girl. She's going to try to break your grip. So she's going to make a grapple check as well. And then so you need to basically oppose it with a hand-to-hand. So
Okay.
hand-to-hand versus hand-to-hand.
And there's nobody gets a benefit.
Actually, yeah. Let me look, cause you hold on.
I think once you're grappled,
Yeah.
you get a negative.
Yeah, you're right. Cause she has to like change the grappler. Oh boy, where is it? Is the question. Where is that stuff? General, is it still in here? Yeah. All right. So she's the defensive grappler. Okay, let me read. Offensive requires skill check. Attack actions may only use hand to hand. Blah blah blah. If any other skill is used, okay. actions. Yeah, that's if you would attack her, you would get 2 benefits. So and this one is just a
Okay, so she doesn't get negatives to try to get away.
no, she does not.
Okay.
In certain situations, what she would do, you can dodge this. You can do grapple. It doesn't matter. Whatever's best. You can actually do a dodge.
Okay.
Yeah, it says offensive grapplers, offensive and defensive actions to target or react to character say. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. Attack actions may only use. Offensive grapplers considered grappling. Offensive action. No, it's a grapple. I think it's both grapple.
So we both do hand to hand.
The offensive grappler may use any defensive act, so you can dodge. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Dodge. Yep. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, she tries desperately to get away, and you do not let her. What the hell? Who are you? She says, and is trying to wrench free, but isn't able to. Wraith, you're up again.
Okay, yes. So he's gonna hold the gun to this guy's head and then pull him in so he's holding him as a shield, and point the gun at the next guy, and start yelling at him to drop the gun.
You can try, but it's going to be pretty difficult. I would give this guy probably 3 benefits.
Okay. He's still going to try it.
Yeah, sure. It's a free action.
Okay, so let's try. So he gets benefits. I don't get any hardships then.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
39. We'll give him. Yeah, he just he's like, I'm gonna kill you, sucker. And
well, at least I've got cover.
yeah, you do. You have pretty good cover. All right, what would you like to do with your AP?
Yeah, well, if he's going for his gun, I'm just going to shoot.
He's kind of like half turned to you, half towards Vindicator. His gun is already out. He's been shooting at Vindicator.
Yeah, I'm just going to shoot him then.
Okay. So
Okay.
you are point blank range.
Okay, I'm just going to choose this guy. Don't think I get any benefits. No. Additional mods, hardships, range, point blank. Not great.
Okay. You want to click so 11. You
Oh,
want
actually, can I spend a fate, or is it too late?
go ahead. Just roll D10.
Okay. Oh, that's not that.
Because I think. Oh yeah, you already did. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
You need a better than a 7. Okay.
Hey.
So you got 12 instead. Let me tick down your fate real quick.
Thanks. Yeah, I managed to remove one from my maximum instead of my current.
Gotcha.
Yeah, one of those.
Yep. All right. So that's 12. So 11. We can do the real hit location stuff. I can look it up real quick. Give me a second. Combat base. It's really based on head is okay. So that's an arm hit. That is a left arm hit. So that is 12 minus 3, 9. He has no armor. What is the damage on your gun? Next time you can just use a macro and it'll spit all this out.
Yeah, sorry, I should have done
No,
that.
you're fine. It's fine. I'm guessing it's something like 10.
Yeah, it's 10 piercing, yeah.
Okay, so that's 19. That's enough to give him a wound. I'm guessing that's mortal, yeah? So boom, boom. He's going to get both.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So, yeah, you shoot him in the left arm, and he just kind of drops it to the side. And, oh! He screams out as you shoot him. Yep. Okay, there's a lot coming now. The 10s. It's his turn. He is already aiming at Vindicator, and he kind of just like looses a shot at him as he kind of is about to turn on you. So he's going to shoot at Vindicator with his pistol. This is a semi-automatic, so he's gonna go all semi-auto on this. 3 benefits, additional mods, none. Oh yeah, there is. There's another -3. Because he's doing semi-auto. 3 benefits, -3. Hardships, none. He is 1, 2, so he's close.
Ouch.
38.
Jeez.
Oh man. 38. What's your armor on your torso?
8.
Alright. Damn. So, let me see what this is. Calc 38 minus, I'm sorry, minus 8 plus 20. 50. Okay. So that's a wound. And an injury. And 2 injuries, actually, because he has mortal weapon on that. So let me put this on here. And go ahead and roll a d10. Oh, okay. So how does it look as this guy shoots you directly in the stomach?
Yeah, he's been getting shot a few times now, so probably assisted in him spraying the whole railway there, and he gets shot again. You know, a few rounds in the chest, and falls back up into the wall.
So just remember your regen stuff and how that works.
Yeah, I think so far
your
I've only
next turn.
gotten injuries, right?
Yeah, until now.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything to them.
Yeah. So
Okay, it's my turn now.
I think it is not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Sorry, it's Soldier 2 first, who Tanya screams, right, and he turns around and sees Dr. Vitae holding her, and he just runs back. He's like, "What are you doing, you crazy bitch?" And he runs back here. He runs for 3, so he comes back. Okay, he's back. The guy that you're holding, Wraith, is trying to like duck down and fall to the ground if you let him.
No, I'm trying to hold on to him.
Okay, man, don't kill me. I guess he'll just stay there and not do anything. He'll delay for 3, we'll say. For now. So we're at 11s, and now it's Vindicator's turn. Yeah.
All right. So, do I make a some kind of regen check?
Yeah, you should make a. Let me look. It is regeneration 2, level 2, in combat. Yeah, make a recovery skill immediately. You got to beat a 50.
Mm.
You could spend a fate point to do. I don't know what you think your chances are. What's your recovery? Your recovery's pretty good. I think you got a good chance. I might do it if I were you.
Ben one.
I wouldn't. I think you should. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think you have a good chance if you do.
right, let's do it.
All right, so make a recovery roll. Give yourself 1 benefit. Yep. That injury just freaking goes away. Wow.
Oh, does he get a wound and an injury gone from it, or just a
I think
wound?
the way regeneration works, it just heals wounds. Let me look.
I think it converts, or I
Isn't
don't
that heal?
remember.
I think that's heal.
I think, yeah, I'm probably remembering heal.
I think it's heal. I can read.
Yeah, it's just the wound.
Yeah. So yeah, you do, and that was after the -9. I don't think those are. Regardless, it's healed. Yeah, like how does these bullets maybe just pop at? I don't know. You describe it how it looks.
I think like he's bleeding like all over the place, you know. Blood coming out of his chest and his arm, his leg, and his armor. It's all over his armor, and like he definitely looks like he should have just fallen over and at least been out of the fight by now. But he's still getting up and raising the gun, and
And you can shoot back if you want.
yeah. I think I'm just gonna target the main guy right now.
You're going to do rate of fire, or that's another
Yeah,
-3 to do that. But yeah.
yeah, I think I'll do that.
Okay, so -3 on additional mods.
Actually, how many rounds have I used?
I think you only fired once. So.
Just the burst, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 3.
Yeah. If you you have rate of fire 3,
Is that a spray? Oh, I think it's a 2 rate of fire.
then it's just 2. Yeah. You should be at 6 right now. Yeah, you should be at 6.
Okay, cool.
And if you do this, should be at 4.
Let's see, and that's close.
Yep. That's a miss.
Oh my gosh.
God, what a terrible roll. Yeah, you just and just.
Jesus, all those ones. Yeah.
Oh wait,
him
wait.
just
Hold
getting-
on though. Your wound is still in there, so let me see how bad that was. So I took it off. That was 11. You still missed by 1. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So him just getting shot and everything. He rips another few rounds on the ground as he's lifting the gun up towards him.
Yeah. Now the soldier's running back that was distracted earlier, and he's running. Gets to about there. He's going to take another 10 to get up, so he's running. He just ran 5, and Tanya's still out there, and she's like, "Kill this bitch!" And she tries to get away again. Hand to hand. She ain't never getting away.
Mm,
Because you can do
I could roll.
dodge. You can do dodge. You can do...
Yeah. I could roll bad here, so we'll see. No.
Yeah. All right, Wraith.
Okay. I'm going to take another shot at this guy. This time I will use the macro.
Yeah, it's all good. Gives
so
me
we'll
practice
take
of
this too.
actually doing the hit location conversion. It actually doesn't do it right in the sheet. 19, so that's a hit. That's 29. Head strike, 34. He does not have any armor, so 34, not quite enough for a death roll. Yeah, nope. This should be actually 24, but whatever. So that's a wound and injury. How does it look as you shoot this guy basically in the head, but doesn't kill him. It
Yes.
must skim it or something.
Yeah, so Wraith is still kind of yelling at this guy to surrender, and he's kind of struggling a little bit with the guy in front of him, and he's just kind of waving the gun, and he shoots in his sort of vague direction, and he kind of grazes the guy's temple with a bullet, and still just carries on yelling at him.
Yeah, he kind of throws up his offhand that's shot and just ah. He starts kind of screaming, and it is his turn. I'm pretty sure he is actually going to jump off this thing. Enter act action. I'm gonna roll for something. I'm gonna roll. Alright, so he's jumping off. This is going to be hazard, probably a rank 3 hazard. So that's 60, 10, keep 3, boom, boom. Oh, man. And then he's going to roll acrobatics. This is like the first time I've ever rolled good on one of those on any game. Of course, it's against myself. Acrobatics. Oh yeah. He falls down and breaks his leg. He's He's just kind of screaming down there. He's holding his leg, but you're not sure exactly what's up. But he definitely isn't going anywhere. All right. So this is 2. Okay, Dr. Vitae.
Finally, my turn, or someone else over here?
13, 8. No, it's Soldier 2 that's run up
Okay.
to you. Yeah. He's running. He's going to try to shoot you. Combat pistol.
And he's shooting into melee.
Yeah, he's going to take a hardship. If he does,
Not-
he's not going to. Well, yeah, he would not want to hit her. So yeah, he's going to take a hardship. He's -3 because he ran last time. Takes a hardship. Point blank. That's a hit. That's 27 torso strike. That's an you have what,
I have 8 piercing.
8, so that's 9. That might not be enough to hurt you.
My injury
just
threshold
barely.
is 9.
Yeah, you take an injury. Yeah,
Yeah.
he skims your side or something.
Yeah, she's kind of twisting and turning and trying to get Tanya kind of between them a little bit, and that makes it hard for him.
This soldier up here is going to try to escape your grapple, so he's like done with this because he doesn't believe you're just not going to kill him at this point. So he's
Fair enough.
yeah, he's gonna just try to do a hand-to-hand escape. You can do so you can do any defense. You can do dodge or hand-to-hand basically. If you can let go.
I'll just let him go and
Okay.
just say, get out of here.
Okay, Vitae, you're up.
Yeah, she says, I was going to let you go, but now you've made it personal. And she's going to use her power. Cellular disruption.
But now you fucked up.
Right. 28. Yeah, so 28. He's got to make a recovery skill check.
Tanya.
Oh, Tanya. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. She's the one that she's touching.
Okay.
Touch
Oh,
back.
yeah, gotcha. She's got to make a recovery. Oh boy, that's not gonna go good for her. Nope. So she takes 8 other damage.
Is it just 8, or do you get the LOS?
Oh yes, you do. Yeah. So 18, 26. Oh, I mean, yeah. How do you kill her? That's I
Yeah,
mean, that's over
she,
double.
she looks slightly sad, but also pissed off as she just kind of moves her hand up Tanya's arm to some bare skin and closes her eyes for a moment. And then Tanya's body just contorts. She kind of bends over front ways, like almost in half, gasping. And suddenly red spots appear all over her, every inch of exposed skin, and they enlarge and enlarge, and then they blacken and blacken until she's got these horrible weeping black sores that are all over her body. And she finally shudders and her heart gives out, releasing the suitcase.
Yeah, it drops, clatters to the ground. This guy next to you is like, "Holy shit!" And it is.
Can I do an intimidation roll on him?
I don't know that you're gonna need to, but yeah, Vindicator, you're up.
I'm gonna shoot that one guy in front of Wraith.
Yeah, go ahead. So, they're engaged technically, so you have to take a hardship or potentially hit Wraith.
Okay, yeah.
Single or double?
Yeah, I'll do a single shot there.
Okay. You get out of here while my friend shoots you.
I think that's just, I think he's pretty mad now.
Yeah, he got shot in the stomach pretty good.
He got shot too many times.
Well, at least he's not doing a grenade launcher.
He's
Right,
still got a bullet.
turning corporal again.
See if I can roll.
Oh
decent.
god, headshot kill.
Oh, nice.
How's it look?
Right after he says, "Get out of here."
Yeah,
That's
blood
not-
splatters Wraith in the face.
Oh,
And Vindicator's just, he's got his rifle up. Can't really see his face with the mask on it, but he looks like he's about to like walk over to the edge.
Yeah, at this point, the guy who was running up the stairs turns around and starts running the other way. And this guy just drops to his knees. The guy in the apartment says, "No, no, no, no!" He drops his gun, and I didn't know you were one of those types. Please don't kill me! Please don't kill me! And we're out of combat unless you guys.
Okay.
If you guys give chase to this guy, maybe we'd do something. But
Yeah.
Can,
Dr. Vitae kicks the gun away and then takes this bedspread and throws it over Tanya's body.
I can't see that bit, so he just walks over one step closer to Vindicator and goes, "You all right?"
I think I have to make a check to see if I'm all right.
yeah, you can make one. Bloodlust. I think it's a fortitude roll.
Are you all right? I gotta make
Oh,
a
dear.
roll real quick.
I'm not sure yet. Hold on.
Hard fortitude. Oh, that's like a 37 you have to beat or something like that.
There's no way. He's never gonna make one.
Yeah, 37. It's under mental. Yeah.
He needs an off switch. Oh,
Not
that
quite.
was so
Oh, that was a
close.
really good roll,
Close.
but not quite.
Oh.
Oh, the
Um,
negative 9 doesn't count. Those are gone. So you do actually pass it.
Oh,
Wow.
nice. Yeah.
Okay, this should make a good scene then.
I think he's going to. Maybe he was going over to the ledge to shoot the captain from below, and maybe him just walking up and saying that, breaks that focus for a moment, and then he stops aiming at the guy and like turns towards him. And then, for a moment, he's looking at him through the mask, and he sees, Wraith as the sad kid that he shot his hero just yesterday, or. So he's like, yeah, are you all right? Where's the
Yeah.
doc?
And right before he says that, Wraith just sort of looks down at it, points down at the guy and goes, "He's not worth it, mate. He's not worth it." The doc. I don't know. She was with you, right?
We gotta find her. She went this way.
All right. And he'll follow.
Yeah, she went in that way, so yeah, it's this door.
I think if Wraith turns around and takes off running, Vindicator's gonna like walk down there towards that guy on the ground.
So this way.
Yeah, that way.
Okay.
The main apartment. Yeah. Is that door not open for some? Oh no, it is.
No,
Okay.
no.
All right, cool.
But I can get through. Yeah, so he'll just start going through here and seeing what he can see. I don't seem to be able to see through any doorways or anything, so.
Yeah, there's not much in there. I mean, it's as you saw it before, right? All the drug paraphernalia and stuff. What were you gonna do, Rogue?
I think Vindicator's gonna go down there to the G captain.
Okay. Yeah, he's in just terrible pain. He's shot up. His leg is badly broken, compound fracture, bleeding out. Hold on, guys, 1 second.
Vindicator goes down there and decides that actually it's a mercy to put a bullet in the guy.
All right, go ahead.
Did you want to do his scene or me?
No, you go first.
Okay. Yeah, so he'll walk over there with the gun. Make sure to kick the guy's gun away from him. And then he points the gun at him. And he says, "This isn't your territory."
Oh, shit, man. Oh, my leg. Oh, you shot me. That fucking punk shot me. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, not my territory. I'll tell him. Just, you gotta help me. Get me to a hospital.
Does he have a wallet on him? Like, try to get his wallet.
He does, yeah.
He's gonna look at his name.
James Thomas.
Do you have a family, James Thomas?
Oh, shit, yeah, I got 2 girls, man. Don't kill me. Don't kill me.
And then he'll drop the wallet back and he says, "Get the fuck out of this place. Don't come back."
Oh, I can't move, man. Oh, my leg. You gotta call the ambulance for me. Call an ambulance for me, man.
He'll take his gun and start walking off.
Okay. Yeah, he kind of starts crawling, but very slowly this way. Blood marks, just drag marks behind him. As you kind of come back up, Wraith, you walk in, you see a guy on the ground on his knees with his hands up. Dr. Vitae in front of, yeah, I'll teleport Ken in there. Whoa, sorry.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, so Dr. Vitae standing over a dead body that she's covered with a sheet. Is that right? A blanket?
Yeah, she grabbed the comforter off the bed and just tossed it over Tanya.
Yeah, and there's a guy just saying, "Oh, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me."
Madison sits down on the bed with the briefcase on her lap and looks at him and says, "Where's the drugs and the money?"
There's most of it's in the closet that's still here.
Point.
He points back to this kind of cubby in here.
What are you doing here? This isn't LAG territory.
I don't know. I'm just a soldier. I don't make any decisions. I just get told what to do, and I do it, man.
All right. What's in this briefcase?
I got no idea.
All right. Just sit tight. You're going to be fine. Just sit tight.
Okay.
And she's going to sit there and kind of wait. She figures that her friends will be in soon. She has every confidence that they can take out some gangsters. She tries to open the briefcase.
It is locked. There's one of those like numeric scroll locks, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Combination.
Yeah, combination. There you go.
Well, I'll have to deal with this later. She looks around. Like, she doesn't really have anything to pry it open. But as she's looking around, she sees Wraith. Is everything over out there?
Yeah. And Vindicator didn't kill the guy. It's like progress, right? And then he goes, I'm just going to grab one of these guys' phones and like call the cops.
Wait, let's get everything we need first, although the cops are never particularly fast to get this neighborhood. She points to the closet and she says, drugs and money in there. We need to get rid of the drugs. Money, well, I'm sure we can put it to some better use.
Okay.
Uh,
He looks a little bit uncomfortable and then goes and takes it.
Yeah, there's shoe boxes full of assorted amounts of drugs. The soldier said, can you let me go? I just walk right out. Won't say anything. Just let me out of here before you call the cops, huh?"
She looks over at Wraith again. So, Vindicator seemed okay?
Yeah, Vindicator,
Yeah.
you can walk in now if you want.
Yeah, he walks in, bunch of bullet holes in him. Yeah. And he said James Thomas is alive. He's crawling away and asking for an ambulance.
We'll send cops and someone this way. Where's your phone? LAG.
Right here. Don't shoot me. I'm not going for the gun. And he digs around in his pocket and just kind of tosses it at your feet.
Okay. Do you see any compatible ammo or anything, Vindicator?
He would not for his gun. If you're talking about a Vindicator's gun.
Yeah,
though.
Dr. Vitae will take one, just kind of stick it in her satchel. Yeah.
He did take James's gun too.
Yeah. It's just a I don't know, a shitty Beretta type of thing. Glock.
Now, you aren't going to be, I don't know, saying anything unpleasant about us, are you?
I won't say anything about you, lady. I'm gonna get out of this town. I'm gonna leave. I'm scared of you guys. I saw what you did to her. She, like, exploded almost her skin. It was disgusting.
I was gonna let her go, but she told you to kill me. She shrugs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't blame you, but yeah, I'm just gonna get out of. He kind of looks over his shoulders. Vindicator walks in with his mask, and he's like, "Oh God, just let me go, huh?"
Madison says, just get out of town.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get out of here quick, man.
She points to the balcony.
Okay. Can I just go down the stairs, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let me help you.
He goes out this way,
no.
jumps off. He lands roughly, but then he gets in this car and just takes off.
Madison's gonna kind of lift the blanket, kind of gingerly, kind of shielding Wraith from this horrible, gory mess this woman is.
Yeah,
She,
Race does not want to look.
and she looks for a purse, something that would have ID in it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, find something.
She takes it. All right, I think we can put in that call once we're back at the van. And can we assume that we take whatever money they've got?
Yeah, they have shoe boxes full of money and drugs. What are you gonna do with the drugs?
Should we just leave this for the police?
Yeah, leave them to deal with it. I don't want anything to do with drugs.
Abuelita Roca might want them for herself, but she shrugs. That wasn't part of the deal.
And Wraith nods at that, quite enthusiastically. Goes, yeah, don't. Come on, we can't be part of that.
Well, she nods.
All right. Yeah. And he kind of grabs as much as he can, and he throws he leaves the drugs where they are, and picks up all the shoeboxes full of money, and grabs as much as he can at least, and stuffs them in a bag if there's one lying around, and then he'll just make the call to the. We'll let the others get out the apartment, and he'll make the call to the cops.
Right, with this gangster's phone, I figured.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there...
And then just basically say, give he'll just put on a voice and say, give the address of the apartment. Just say the name of the apartment. Just say they're all dead. Drugs are inside, and then just hang up.
What were you gonna say, Rogue?
Are there any pictures in here of like James and Tanya together or anything like that? Or were they together? Or...
You don't see any pictures in here. This is obviously just like a safe house. It's not somebody's personal residence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vindicator's interested in the girl or who she was, and he looks over at the doc and he's like, was that the leader?
She was important. She kind of holds up the purse. Got this, and she holds up this. Got this. She was trying to escape with it. It's locked. We'll have to look at it later.
But we should get out. The cops are coming.
Yeah.
If that's the redhead woman, she was on the computer earlier.
There's a computer?
Yeah, there's a computer over here. Mm-hmm.
Is it a laptop?
No. Actually, it would be. It probably is a laptop. Yeah, I would say so.
Grab
Okay,
that.
we can nick that, yeah. I'll make sure to take the power supply too.
I gotta get on eBay to buy a power supply for this damn thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you grab the power supply. You rush out. You run the couple blocks over to the panel van. And you head back to Madison's. Let's see. Got just a couple things left. You get there, it's probably the middle of the night now. Vindicator's all bloody. So is Wraith from when Vindicator shot that guy in front of him. You get inside, and I'm guessing you get cleaned up and such. And just about that time, I would say...
Madison opens that briefcase right away.
Yeah. You open the briefcase and you see there's actually a small bit of drugs in there, but mostly is a bunch of CDs, thumb drives, that kind of thing.
She's gonna put the drugs down the garbage disposal.
Okay.
And she's gonna grab all the thumb drives, and she just tucks them under the mattress for now. Closes up the briefcase.
At about that time, Wraith, you get a call on your phone. The number that's calling you is unknown, restricted.
Okay. He sort of goes, oh, it's odd. It's probably a scam call. And he picks it up and he doesn't really say anything. He just listens.
There's this, kind of that awkward silence as they expect you to say something, but you don't. And then she says, a feminine voice says, Wraith, is this you? This is Sadie Quinn, the one that tipped you off about the warehouse, the lab,
Oh, yeah.
the fireball. You remember?
Yeah. Hey, Sadie. How you doing?
I'm fine. Hey, I need to talk to you guys. I kind of heard through the grapevine what happened at the warehouse somewhat. Not exactly sure. But, I was wondering if you would meet with some friends of mine. Well, not exactly friends, associates. Know them. They're interested in what you found at the warehouse. They're gifted like you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, warehouse was a mess. I'll be honest. It all went pear-shaped. It was not good. But we stopped what they were doing, and that was even worse. So,
And
yeah.
you guys killed Amplify, I'm guessing, or he was already dead, or...
That was a mess. He attacked us, and it all went wrong. It was, yeah. God, that was a mess. Yeah. He doesn't really answer the question.
Yeah, she
Just
says,
once.
well, I mean, I think we should have cooler heads prevailed during this meeting, because they are friends of Amplify's, I guess.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of them can read minds, so he's gonna know what happened. So if one of you did kill him, maybe that person should be scarce for the meeting.
Right. Yeah, we'll make sure he's not there.
All right.
Yeah.
Echo Park in 2 days.
All right, we'll be there.
All right. There's a fountain in the middle. You'll be meeting two people by the name of Caius and Zen.
Caius and Zen, got it. Okay, Caius and Zen, Echo Park Fountain, 2 days, and he'll take down the time as well.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Sadie. And look, if they're friends, tell them it was a mess. It wasn't deliberate. It was.
Well, like I said, they're more just acquaintances, associates, and they just want to know what happened at the warehouse, and we're doing them a solid by reaching out to you to meet them. So.
Yeah, nice, cool. Thanks, Sadie. Cheers.
So what else happened? We didn't exactly see any. We just have reports. What did you find in there?
Oh, they had like people in tanks. I think they're trying to. It was more of the same kind of stuff, I reckon. Experimenting
so
on.
You got the doctor then? Is he dead?
Yeah. He was a bit of an handful. Had some pretty advanced tech on him. But yeah, we got him.
Did we kill the doctor?
No.
I didn't.
Oh,
think
I
so.
thought we did. I thought that's another one where he surrendered. He was surrendered and Vindicator killed him.
Yeah, Vindicator got talked out of it, I think.
Yeah.
But then,
Oh,
didn't
why
we
do
set
I
the place
kill
on
everybody?
fire? But then
Yeah,
he set the place on fire with him in it or something?
No. He was going to. Madison talked him out of it.
Oh, cool.
Everybody always stopping me.
She says, anyway, I need to be off here. I'll contact you guys again for a meeting with us.
Right. Yeah. Thanks, Sadie. You take care.
And just click, the phone is dead by the time you say that.
And Wraith will kind of be running his fingers through his hair. He has his hood down and he's says, "Look, Doc. Yeah, there's some people want to meet us," and he'll tell the story, including that Vindicator probably shouldn't be there.
Is Vindicator in the room?
Yeah,
Are we all in the same
Yeah,
room?
yeah, I
I'd have
assume
thought
you
so,
are,
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Madison's sitting on the couch and she's coaxed Vindicator out of his jacket and she's got a sewing kit out and she's mending the bullet holes in his jacket with her legs crossed as she's listening to Rave. She kind of bites her lip and looks over there.
It's probably for the best.
Wraith, do you give the names of the people she said they...
Yeah, he actually said them out loud as he was talking to her as well. So yeah,
Caius and Zen.
Madison would have heard Caius and Zen. Yeah.
Wait, Caius?
Yeah, do you know him?
Well, that's... But not Amplify said that Caius was, well, basically his enemy. And if she kind of looks down at the mending in her lap, if Caius is on the side of Sadie and was a friend of Amplify, then... And this doppelganger creature had put the people in the cages, then yes, I think we do need to meet them.
Right. And he's looking very uncomfortable, and he says, "How are we going to explain what happened with Amplify? It was a mess."
He attacked us. We were,
Oh no, but he wasn't himself, right? He was nuts. He'd lost the plot, right?
We just tell the truth, Wraith. I mean, she shrugs. What else can we do? And she keeps sewing. You know, for all our abilities, really, at the core of it, we're only human, and we're doing the best we can. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for their friend.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I hope they'll understand.
She
Hey.
shrugs.
I didn't kill that guy today.
That is true, and he deserved it, right? So yeah, I was proud of you, mate. And
Madison
he
just smiles
look-
up at Vindicator.
he does look relieved.
Even though he messed up my fucking jacket.
I'm on it.
What about that girl?
She pulls out the purse and tosses it to Vindicator. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. The briefcase had, she looks over at Ray, a bunch of computer thingies in it.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "Can I take a look?"
She'll go scoop them up while Vindicator's rummaging through the purse.
Cool. And yeah, he'll probably get that laptop up and running, and probably can't log into it, but he'll try.
Oh, you can give me a hacking roll.
Okay.
Just do challenging.
Challenging. Okay, so that's going to be
It's 29.
hacking.
You can spend Ooh, yeah, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
Or you can, I mean, you can spend fate and do a D10 exploding and see.
Could I spend 2?
Yeah, you can. So
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll spend
you
2.
could spend 3 if you want. It's up to you.
I guess, yeah, I guess like they come back at the end of the session, don't they? Or come back next session?
If you haven't
Yeah.
spent them, spend them.
Yeah,
Spend them if
yeah.
you got them.
So
I'll spend all
three
3.
benefits. Yeah. Just
I'll roll 3d10.
so is there any better? So you had a 4. Yeah, it's still not gonna get it. Yeah. Because that's not additive. It's just replaces.
Right, I see. So yeah,
Yeah, it's only
another
a
3.
+3. Yeah. Yeah, you're unable to get in past
Yeah.
the network secure um, like the username password. You don't have
Yep.
tools, etc.
Yeah.
But you
Um,
you could check out all these other things.
yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, you're gonna just use your laptop.
To look at
Um,
to look at the files from the briefcase.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
yeah, I'm just a bit worried about can I make a sysops roll to see if there's anything I can do to kind of protect the laptop before I kind of plug these in?
Yeah, sure.
Just do that. Just in case they're kind of infected or anything else.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah. Essentially, exactly what Slip said. You can build a OS that isn't your actual OS, and
Yeah.
and load it up with that and see what it does.
Cool. Yeah, so he'll sort of build a little VM and run it all up in there.
Yeah, you go onto YouTube and figure out how to do that, and you create a VM, and it works just wonderfully. And you plug in one of the thumb drives to your laptop, and as it does, you wait until it's launched. You put it in, and you don't have to do anything. There's just some program runs immediately, and you're not sure what happens actually. And then there's a flicker, and then it just turns like blue screen of death, basically.
Oh, interesting. So he looks at Madison and says, "Yeah, glad that wasn't on my real machine."
Was that bad?
Yeah, that would have been pretty bad. Can I get anything off it? No. If I create a new VM, maybe try and
Yeah, it just
try and
might
set
take
it
a while.
to-
What I'm trying to avoid is a whole big thing that we have to
Yeah, yeah.
explore right now. So
Yeah, oh, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes you can, but it's going to take some time.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely fine.
Well, what about... And she gestures toward the purse that Vindicator's holding. Who was this woman?
Yeah, he's trying to gain in the information about
Yeah,
Hurricane.
you open her there's a wallet inside, you open, and there's like 5 different IDs in there from 5 different states with different names.
She's been doing this a while.
There's all kinds of different credit cards. There's a couple burner phones in there.
Stealing people's
Checkbooks.
credit cards. Stealing people's money. Probably their identities. But not anymore. I think he just looks over at the dock.
I wonder what this is really all about. There was a little bit of drugs in the briefcase, but mostly just this, and she seemed very keen to protect it.
Was there a kilo in there? And he looks like with a little grin.
She blushes. No. I think maybe just a few grams of something.
He smiles at her.
It
Well,
is. Yeah, go ahead.
she was just going to say, I'm certain you'll find ways to keep yourself busy, Indicator, but you're always welcome to stay here. Even if you're not coming with us to the meet.
Yeah, thank you. I might disappear for a few days. Go look for some more weapons. But call me if you need anything.
Actually, and Wraith pulls out the shard pistol he's got. Do we have any ammo for that?
Yeah, it has ammo. It
Okay.
has a few, but I think those both have like technical inputs, like not like triggers.
Right.
Those
So
are
I need.
shot by sciences, so they would have to be altered in some way.
Right, I had a feeling they need to. Do you think you could get this altered for me so it just works like a normal pistol? Do
He
you know
checks it
anyone who
out.
could do that?
I'm gonna try to find somebody. We need some place to get weapons.
Cool. Thanks. And look, you take care of yourself, mate.
And he looks at him for a moment. He says, I will.
And Ray sort of nods and looks a little bit kind of awkward for a moment, and then says, "Anyway, I better get back to that drive." Yeah. And goes and sits down and puts his hood up and puts some earbuds in and starts listening to music.
He goes over to see if the doc is finished with the jacket.
Yeah, she looks up at him and says, "It'll be a minute, and there's no rush." And she continues to sew the jacket up meticulously, slowly, as seamlessly as she can. And but eventually she looks at it and stands up and hands it to him.
And he'll take it, look it over. Thanks, that's a great job.
Anytime.
And as he puts it on, he's like, well, I better get going. You keep the kid safe.
Yeah, I'll try. And she reaches out a hand and kind of puts it on his forearm. And you take care of yourself.
He smiles at her, and touches her on the shoulder like a small pat, but he gets uncomfortable, and he says, don't walk into a trap or anything.
We'll see. But with Wraith here, it's hard for anyone to surprise us. I'm not too worried. Don't worry about us. We'll be fine. go out there and get rid of some bad guys. That's what you're good at.
He'll put his jacket on then and grab his keys, take off if he has any keys.
Yeah, sure.
I think he had a motorcycle.
Yeah, you got a motorcycle. It's all good. Yeah, Vindicator walks through the door, opens it, and looks over his shoulder maybe one last time, and then into the early morning, like 2 a.m., you hear his motorcycle rev up and drive off. And the two of you think about what's your next steps over the next few days and this meeting that you're going to have with other supers that you do not know. One that you are warned about by Doppelganger himself. And that is it, and that is technically the end of the first arc of this game. So I thank everyone for playing, and Rogue as Vindicator will come back to us in a month or two, and we'll kill all sorts of defeated enemies, I'm sure.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this one.
That was good.